Why don't I believe you?
Today, in Judge Karen's court, accusations fly as an alleged affair tears former friends and roommates apart.
This is the reason why I left. She started sleeping with my boyfriend.
You started sleeping with a boyfriend?
There was nothing going on between me and this dude.
He'll come over and she'll be like all in his face, like, and she'll put on her little booty shorts.
If you had your 90-year-old granddaddy there, you wouldn't be walking around with your cheeks out, okay?
I came home one day and they were cuddled up on the couch.
He hasn't been back over to the house?
Nope.
Why don't I believe you?
Real judge. Real drama. Real justice. And now, you're about to enter Judge Karen's court. Plaintiff Destiny Asia is suing her former friend and roommate for $5,100 worth of rent. Destiny says the defendant wrongfully accused her of having sex with the defendant's boyfriend, then stormed out of their apartment for no reason, leaving Destiny to pay off the lease. Defendant Bisa Ali argues she had every right to walk out on Destiny after she caught Destiny and her boyfriend in the act. She's devastated that Destiny betrayed her, and she's countersuing her former friend for moving fees and mental anguish.
Miss Asia, you are suing Miss Ali for 6 months' rent in the amount of $5,100. Is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
And you are countersuing for mental anguish and moving fees in the amount of $1,300.
Yes, yes, ma'am.
So I'm gathering that you are roommates?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, so how did you meet Miss Ali?
Bisa and I met a couple of years ago through a mutual friend.
Okay.
We were all just hanging out. We went to happy hour, and she was like the newcomer to the group. And so, you know, everybody we were kicking it, drinking, having fun.
So you were good friends?
Yeah.
Would you agree that you were good friends?
We were really good friends up until, you know, she started sleeping with my boyfriend, but other than that, we were really good friends.
So you started sleeping with a boyfriend?
No.
Yeah.
Okay, well, were you living together?
Yes.
How did you end up living together?
Because I had my own house that I was renting out, and I had a roommate that moved out at the end of the lease that we had agreed on. And so I was getting ready to put an ad up on Craigslist, and she was like, "Oh, you don't have to do that because I need somewhere to stay too." So
Is that how it happened,
in.
Bisa?
Yes, it is.
Okay,
yes.
so you agreed to move in with her?
Yes, I did.
And how much were you supposed to pay?
$800 a month.
$800 a month?
No, it was $850.
Well, you sure it wasn't $850?
It was $800 to my understanding.
Was there anything in writing?
Yeah.
Oh,
It was $850.
Do you have the lease?
Yeah.
Let me see your rental agreement.
I mean, it wasn't anything that was
Let
like
me see your rental
major.
agreement. Okay, this says that Bisa agrees to pay $850 to Destiny.
Oh, I forgot about the $50.
You forgot.
Well, let me ask you this question. Did you ever make any payments at all?
I made one payment.
Of $850?
Yes.
Last September?
It was, I don't remember. It was like, I moved out in December of 2009.
Right. So what happened from September 1st to December of 2009? You had to pay September, October, and November.
Yes, I paid those months.
Did she pay those 3 months?
Yes.
She paid those 3 months. Well, how was she as a roommate otherwise?
Everything was cool. She moved in. We were still hanging out, you know, going out when we were off of work and drinking at the house.
Did you have a boyfriend at the time?
No, I did not, but she did. And
She
so
had a
this is where
boyfriend.
the problem came in.
So how did the boyfriend become a problem?
Once she moved in, the boyfriend would start being there when she wasn't home.
Coming by the house when she wasn't there.
Exactly. Like he would come early and be like, "Oh, I'm waiting on Bisa," or she might run to the store and he would stay there.
Is that
so
true, Bisa?
naturally,
Wait a second. Yes, Bisa?
Well, Your Honor, well, I feel like, why would my boyfriend be coming over there? I never told him to come over there when I wasn't
Okay, well, you didn't tell him not
Excuse me,
to?
wait a minute. If y'all want to work it out, you go outside and you can talk it out. But if you want me to work it out, you talk to me and not each other. You have it?
Yes.
Okay? Now, why would he come over there, you say? Because he's a man.
Right.
That's why he came over there early when you weren't home.
And I feel like, you know, like she was my friend, you know, not only was she my roommate, but she was my friend. And like he'll come over and she'll be like all in his face like, "Oh, hey, how you doing?" and she'll put on her little booty shorts because she'll walk around the house like that anyway.
Well,
So
what
she'll
does she
put on
have
her
on the day? What do you
shorts.
have on the day? Step out, because I didn't see what you had on.
I have on a skirt that's coming to my knees. I mean, I'm not a
Well,
hoochie
she looks
mama.
like that she dresses nicely.
But Your Honor, it's like, okay, but if my boyfriend's coming over, I feel like, you know, you should have enough respect to like not be in his face to put on certain clothes.
Like, what was she wearing?
Like she'll just wear her little shorts and she'll wear
Wait a second,
tube
hold on
top.
a second. But you know what though, even if it is your house, there is a respectable way. If you had your 90-year-old granddaddy there, you wouldn't be walking around with your cheeks out, okay? Even though it's your house.
First of all, I didn't have my cheeks out.
Okay, how were you dressed?
Just regular lounge around the house type clothes. I mean, pajamas. It's hot outside. It's summertime. I can't wear shorts.
It was December.
And his name was not on the rental agreement, so he shouldn't even been there.
A minute. And take your attitude back outside that door. I don't need attitude this time of day. What made you think that there was more going on than what met the eye?
Okay, because this is the reason why I left.
Okay.
It's because not only like I'll come in the house and then they'll be like all, you know, in each other's face and stuff, but this is the reason why I really left.
Why?
I came home one day and they were cuddled up on the couch.
You remember that? Wait, you remember that?
No. We were never cuddled up. Nothing.
So
no,
was this her
we were never
imagination?
cuddled up. Nothing ever
this
happened
was her
between me and this
imagination?
dude. Yes.
When Judge Karen's court continues.
One day he was in the shower. His phone vibrated, and so I looked at his phone.
Okay.
And it was a text message from her.
There was nothing going on between me and this dude.
So you haven't seen it?
No.
He hasn't been back over to the house?
No.
Yeah.
You're back in Judge Karen's court, where Destiny Asia says her ex-roommate Bisa Ali abruptly moved out of their apartment, leaving her to pay the rent. Defendant Bisa Ali claims her former friend slept with her boyfriend, and she's countersuing the plaintiff for moving fees and mental anguish.
So you saw them cuddled up, and what did you do?
I was like, what are y'all doing? You know, I didn't come in, I wasn't calm like, oh, what are y'all doing? I actually was like, you know, what is going on here?
And then what happened?
And they were like,
Wait a second.
And I was going off, and they were like, nothing's going on. And I kind of figured that they've been messing with each other, sleeping around, but they said no. So when I came in and saw them cuddled on the couch, and I was like, I know y'all are messing around. It was like, we're not messing around. And I knew it because they were cuddled up on the couch. He had his little wife beater on.
Wow.
So I knew that something was going on.
Right.
So that's why I was like.
Was that the only evidence you had?
Well, one day he was in the shower.
Okay.
And he got his phone vibrated, and so I looked at his phone.
Okay.
And it was a text message from her. And
what did it say?
She was asking him how was he doing and what was up, you know, what were they doing for the day, what was going on for the day.
Were you sent him a text message saying, what are we doing today?
No, it didn't say what are we doing today.
What did it say?
I don't remember. I text tons of people all the time.
Okay, but what did the text message to her boyfriend say?
Probably nothing more than, hey, what's going on? Like, there was nothing going on between me and this dude. Yeah, we might have flirted. Yeah, we might have laughed. Yeah, we all went out. We all hung out. It wasn't anything that we were, like, hiding from her.
Do you think that they were flirting, or you think that there was something else going on?
I think it was something else going on.
But you have no evidence?
I have
None.
no evidence.
So, but based on that, you told her you were out of there?
Yes.
Okay, and then that's when you sued her on this lease? That's why you brought the lawsuit?
Exactly. I mean, it was right before the holidays. I had to come up with a new roommate at the last minute.
Well, when did you get another roommate?
It was like a few weeks later. It took me a while, you know, a few weeks.
It took you a few weeks? What, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, a month?
3 weeks, maybe.
Okay, so in the next month, you already had another roommate.
Well, no, I mean, I had to try to find somebody.
Okay, but in the next month, you had another roommate.
I didn't have a guaranteed roommate, no. I
Okay,
had
you
people that
told
would
me
come
it
and
took
stay.
2 or 3 weeks to find somebody, which means I found somebody. Otherwise, it took 5 or 6 weeks to find somebody. But it took 2 or 3 weeks to find somebody.
It
So
did, but
you
that person didn't stay.
Okay, when did they move in?
They stayed for like a weekend, maybe a full
Where's the
week.
lease for that person?
There wasn't a lease, that's what I'm saying, because it wasn't somebody that moved in. It was
So
just,
you never
Did you
had
start talking to their boyfriend?
What did I tell you?
dude.
Are you still with that boyfriend of yours?
No, I'm not.
Did you ever find another roommate?
No,
So you, to this day, don't have another roommate?
no.
And before her, did you have a roommate?
Yeah, I did.
How long did you have a roommate before her?
It was for, I think it was a year. We did it for a year. It was a guy. I should have stuck with the men.
Well, she says you stuck with her man.
Yeah.
Nothing went on.
Let me
between
take a
and
look
this
at the
guy.
lease again. Do you have any proof that she didn't find another roommate to replace you?
And I don't have any proof on
We
No?
never spoke again. I haven't seen her until
And let me
now.
ask this question. Why was this lease only for 9 months? It wasn't a 6-month lease. It wasn't a 1-year lease. What's for the 9 months?
It was because we figured, you know, we had just recently met. So
Right.
we were like, let's just, you know, try this out. Like, you know, kind of having a baby type thing. Like, you know, you got to lead up to it. And then if it works out, then great. And
Right.
if not, you can move on.
Right. But tell me about that day she walked in and you have the boyfriend. Well, what was going on exactly, the way you remembered it?
Well, she walked in and
Where were you?
we were in the living room watching TV.
on the couch.
Were you? I know how to do this.
Okay.
Were you on the couch together?
Well, yeah, but I was on one end of the couch and he was on the other end of the couch.
So why would this woman tell me that you're cuddled up? There's a big difference between you on one end and he's on the other end and cuddled up. I think you're lying to me.
No, I'm not lying. I think that she's just trying to exaggerate the truth to make it seem like, oh, well, this is why I left.
But the girl was paying the rent up until December, is what you're telling me. You said she paid the rent.
Yeah, but then she didn't tell you that she lost her job in December. So
Did
she
you
wasn't
lose your
going to be able
job
to
in
pay the rent
December?
anymore after that.
Let me ask, did you lose your job in December?
Yeah.
So when did you lose? When did you lose your job?
I did. I lost my job in December.
When did you lose your job?
About the beginning of December, I lost my job.
And how'd you lose your job?
Transportation.
You didn't have a way to get around.
I didn't have any way to get
So
around.
the plaintiff says that you just are using this boyfriend as an excuse. You just didn't have the money to pay.
I did have the money to pay.
But it just seems to me, let me just play
Okay.
your lawyer a minute.
Okay.
It just seems to me that if we got this relationship though, and I lost my job, I said, girl, can you give me some time? Give me another couple of weeks. So I have
That's
to
not
make
what
up
she
some.
said.
Yeah,
That's
but
not
why do
what
I
she
have to
said.
make up this big story about you sleeping with my boyfriend? Why?
I have no clue because I wasn't.
When Judge Karen's court returns.
And what's your pain and suffering?
Betrayal. Then I don't know if they're doing it unprotected, and I don't know what's going on here.
You gotta have damages. You gotta have something from a doctor that says that you lost your mind behind this, or you
I did lose my mind.
Give me a letter from a doctor telling me that you lost your mind.
And now, back to Judge Karen's court, where ex-friends and roommates are arguing over how an alleged affair ruined their friendship.
Do you have any other evidence?
I have pictures of the room.
Well, she said she had a room there.
Well, I have my receipts from the rent that I had to pay after she left. That
Let me
I
see
did
those
pay
receipts. Let me see the receipts. And what's your pain and suffering?
Betrayal, and I had to leave. I had to leave the place,
Me
in
and the
December.
dude told
What did
her
I
that we
tell you?
weren't
What did I
sleeping
tell
around.
you? What did I tell you? Okay, so I see December you paid your rent. January, February, March, April, and May. Well, who was your landlord?
I was just renting from a guy that owns the house.
Does he have any other rental property?
No, I think that's the only one. The other house that he owns, he lives in it.
And there's nobody else living in the house with you that he's collecting rent from?
No.
All right, because these are all in sequential order. 801, 802, 803, 804, 805, 806. What were you telling me about your pain and suffering?
Oh, because I had to leave where I was staying at.
Right.
And I had to go stay with my cousin and pay $300 there.
Right.
And so being that I didn't have any transportation, so I had to try to find some transportation, go all the way up to the other side of town and pay her $300 to go live with her because I was no longer going to live in the house.
Yeah, but you could have just broke up with your boyfriend.
Exactly.
Did you break up with... Did you break up with your boyfriend?
Yes, I broke up with him that same day.
You broke up with him, so that was the
Yes.
end of the relationship, and you haven't seen him
Yes.
since that day either?
I might have seen him out at the club or something, but not one-on-one.
Yeah,
No.
see.
Right, let
There's
me-
nothing going on between me and this guy.
So you haven't seen him?
No.
He hasn't been back over to the house?
Nope.
Yeah. See, Your Honor? Yeah, okay.
Why don't I believe you?
Because they're messing around.
Yeah,
No.
but I mean, he was showing up when she wasn't there. I
That
can't
had
believe
nothing
that
to
he
do
didn't
with
show
me.
up once she moved out of there and say, hey, baby, can we watch TV?
No, because it was a big thing. Like
Does
she
anybody
said.
in the audience believe her? Anybody believe her? Wow, nobody believes you.
Good.
They don't even know me. It doesn't matter.
I don't know you either, and I don't believe you. About the boyfriend.
Well,
About
I
the
mean,
boyfriend.
like I said, I had my own little men's and stuff. I didn't need hers. You
Right.
know,
Did
he
she have
wasn't
a
even
man?
that cute.
Well,
I said
he didn't-
men's, plural.
Okay, well, I never seen any of them. But what I'm saying is like...
Right, because I'm smart enough not to bring my man around another woman.
Well, wait a second, but that's your house. So you don't bring men to your house?
No,
Is that what you're saying?
I don't want men to know where I live. I don't be bringing men home.
Do you go to their houses?
I don't even, no. No.
Okay.
But she cozies up with my man, so...
The pain and the suffering. I'm still waiting for pain and suffering.
Oh, because, I mean, I just feel like, in my heart, I know that they were together, and I just feel like if they were, then I don't know if they're doing it unprotected, and I don't know what's going on here.
What?
And I just feel like that just, that just messed up my head.
That's not pain and suffering in California.
When
That's the state you're from. It's California. And pain and suffering, that's not enough to prove pain and suffering. Plus, you got to have damages, psychological damages.
Yes, and that was my friend. She
No,
was
you
like
got to
one of my
have
only
damages.
friends.
You got to have something from a doctor that says that you lost your mind behind this. Or
I
you were
did lose my mind,
Give me a letter
Judge.
from a doctor telling me that you lost your mind. You got a letter from a doctor saying you lost your mind?
No.
Did you get rushed to the emergency room with a nervous breakdown?
Almost,
But
Judge.
almost ain't good enough. And what about the $300 for moving?
Yes.
I'm not giving you $300 for moving because one day you were going to move and it was going to cost you money. So you were going to pay to move one day anyway.
Right.
So why should you get moving?
Because I had to hurry up and move from where I was and pay my cousin $300 to go move with her.
Right.
Which, I really didn't have.
You didn't pay her at all, so really you saved some money in December.
Exactly, and I lost.
You saved some money. You should be giving her the difference.
You're right.
Because you saved money.
She just really broke my heart. It just really broke my heart.
Right, but he was your boyfriend. He's the one
Right.
that broke your heart,
Right.
really, because she wasn't really a friend. You had just
Right.
met her. She was
Right.
like your roommate,
Right.
but not a friend.
Right.
And she was right. You don't bring other women around your man.
Right. I know that now.
Yeah, you don't bring other women around your
I know that
man.
now, especially if
Or
they
you
were
get your own place.
Yeah.
That's what you have to do.
especially if they're cute women. They definitely not coming
Exactly.
around my
And
man.
also don't bring any nannies into your home.
Right.
Okay, that's
Yes.
another one. You say
Yes.
you heard it right here.
When we return, Judge Karen will render her verdict. During the commercial break, the courtroom gallery voted for whom they thought would win this dispute. And now, here's how they called the case.
As to the defendant's counterclaim for emotional distress and the $300 for moving fees, I'm dismissing that case because I think you failed to state a cause of action.
Oh.
And even if I and everybody else in the courtroom believes that the plaintiff slept with the defendant's boyfriend, bottom line is she had a lease. And the lease said that the defendant would pay this plaintiff $850. There was no caveat that says, except if I sleep with her boyfriend.
Exactly.
Right. That was not on the lease.
And your lease is legally binding. Therefore, I find in favor of the plaintiff in the amount of $5,100. Good luck to both of you.
Excuse me,
Thank
Judge. Can she give me $300 out of her money and give to me?
Why don't you ask her outside and see what she says?
No, why would I give you any money?
Thank you.
We have much more Judge Karen's Court coming up.
The judge's ruling was great.
I think the judge's ruling was not fair.
It was awesome. I mean, I won.
I did not win, and simply, I'm out of $300.
I really don't appreciate that the judge did not believe that I didn't sleep with her man.
I'm out of a boyfriend, and basically, I'm out of a friend.
She doesn't believe me. I don't think she trusts me. I'm definitely not gonna trust her. There's no point.
I see this friendship going nowhere. We can't be friends. I feel like I can't trust her. If she takes my boyfriend, then I don't know what she might take. She might take my shoes, my stockings.
I don't think that me and Bisa can have a friendship at all ever again.
I would never bring another woman around